Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. The subject of the discourse today is power behind action. Now this is based on a sutta, a discourse of Bhagavan Buddha, which he gave while he was staying at Rajagaha in the Veluvana, that is in the bamboo monastery at Rajagaha, city of Rajagaha. He had just returned from his first visit to Lumbini and rather to Kapilavattu, and along with him had arrived his brother as well as his Rahula, the young Rahula, who was only 7 years old at that time, a young novice monk. Now the Buddha was staying at Veluvana, that is the bamboo grove, and just behind Veluvana was a forest. And there they had this retreat. The retreat was known as Mango Wood Retreat. That means they must have had monastic buildings and cottages for meditation huts and so on, which were built of mango wood, mango timber. And so Buddha, from his daytime meditation, when he woke up, he just emerged from it, from his samadhi, and he was going towards this retreat, towards the Ambalatika, mango wood retreat, just behind the monastery. Now the Venerable Rahula was the pupil of Venerable Sariputra. He saw the Lord coming. So he went and immediately prepared a seat for the Lord to come and sit, and then some water to wash the feet and so forth. Then when the Buddha arrived, he washed his feet, he sat down to hear the Dhamma. So the Buddha, the theme of this sutta, this discourse is the absolute necessity of truthfulness in spiritual life, be it a householder or a monastic member of the holy order. Truth is the ultimate goal, and to reach the ultimate goal of truth, the ultimate truth, which means a direct experience of spiritual freedom, Nibbana. Nibbana is not just a goal in a conceptual or in a philosophical sense, no. It is an experience of ultimate freedom from the bondage of worldly existence. So, anybody who seeks to be liberated from worldly existence through the enlightenment process of the Lokuttara Chitta, he or she has to be absolutely truthful, be in keeping with truth. Truth simply means reality, that which exists, that which is not conceived by mind or conceptually and intellectually formulated by the mind, that which is not a mere religious doctrine. Nothing of that sort. It is a reality that exists and that has to be actualized and experienced by one seeking enlightenment. So the Buddha's theme was the need to be absolutely truthful. And then he said, Rahula, to be truthful in order to achieve the highest goal of ultimate truth, Nibbana, the truth of Nibbana, where once you reach, you attain the ultimate bliss of eternal happiness. totally freed, liberated from all sheds of suffering, dukkha. Dukkhato vimochanam, to be totally liberated and freed from any form of suffering that is inherent in worldly existence. So, he said, to achieve this goal, be truthful and have complete control over what you do. Over what you do, what you say, what you think. These are the three modes of actions. So the truth, experience of truth is an action by itself. It's a mental action. Therefore you must have complete mastery over all actions. Then he says, Rahula, before committing any action or performing any action, before you do or when you are thinking, you are intending to do some action, at that state of intention or volition or will to do something, will to say something, will to think something. So at that stage of intentional stage, become aware, become mindful. Find out what exactly you want to do or say or think. Then once you know that you want to do this is the kind of volition or intention that has originated in the mind, that has arisen in the mind. So now the next thing would be, well, is that whatever you want to do, is that right or wrong? Or in what form you want to commit that action? Is it by bodily action or by verbal speech or by thought, thinking or imagining, etc. So now become aware of what you are intending to do or say or think. Then once you become aware of it, and if you think that it's something that you want to do which is not really good, which is not wholesome, not, it's not pure and kusala, not wholesome, not noble, not good, but something unwholesome and evil, something that has been, that depends upon mental impurity and mental defilements. So once you become aware that what I want to do is really not wholesome, not good, it's bad. Then once you become aware of it is bad for me, it's bad for somebody else on whom I want to do this, and is bad for both. Therefore, it is unwholesome and it will produce pain and suffering in future. So why should I do it? Now reflect wisely in this manner and tell yourself, no, I will not do it. I will not say it. I will not think it. Because this is unwholesome and it is rooted in unwholesome motivations or roots. So, because it is rooted in something unwholesome, it will lead to suffering. I will not do it. It will lead to suffering for me, for others, for both. So I will not do it. And then and there you determine and make sure that you give it up right there and you don't do that. So at the intentional level you are intervened. You have intervened. You have your what you want to do, your intention. At that level you said, no, I will not do it. I will not commit this action. I will not perform this action, and because of these reasons. Now once you do that, you have a very good control over your mind. And this has to be cultivated. This is not something which will come from somewhere above or somebody is bestowing it upon you. No. You have to work hard, you have to put forth your effort, do everything possible to make an end of that wrong motivation, wrong intention to do something, to say something or think something. Once you have done that, you have become, you see, a victor over your own mind. You have conquered something at the intentional level and you have become the winner. Then he said, Rahula, suppose you fail to do this. But while you are actually doing it, saying something, doing something, thinking something, become aware. Oh, what I am now doing, is it good or bad? Is it beneficial for me or for others or for both? Or is it rooted in wholesome roots or in unwholesome roots? So at that very moment when you are actually committing, actually performing or doing something or saying, make an intervention and say, well, this is definitely rooted in something unwholesome, something bad, and it will hurt me, it will hurt others, it will hurt both. It's not good. It's a bad action. Let me not do it. Right there you put forth effort and make sure that you stop it. As soon as you have stopped and you have won over your own mind, then make sure you go and confess about it to your teacher. Tell your teacher, Venerable Sir, I have done this. I have been doing it. I have said this. I have been saying this. I have thought it. I have been thinking in this manner. So, and I know this is bad, this is evil, this is unwholesome, this will hurt me, hurt others, hurt both. It's not beneficial to anyone. And it will create a very painful future for everyone concerned. Therefore, sir, I am making this confession. May I have the strength to control myself, to exert self-restraint and be able to control before I actually do something at that intentional level itself. Now, if you do this confession or tell a brother monk or a sister nun or a fellow upasaka, upasika, whoever, or your own family members or somebody that you can trust, don't tell this to somebody who will make use of this and will create embarrassment for you in future or before others. No, it has to be done strictly with a teacher or a fellow spiritual seeker who will not indulge in any wrongdoing. Now suppose next time such a thing occurs, or you intervene not only at the stage of while doing it or saying etc., but you have actually committed. The job is done. You have done something wrong. And then you become aware, oh, I have done this. This is unwholesome, this is bad. It will result in something that is painful in me, in others, in both. And then, having known this, make sure you make up your mind, you say, I am going to take up some measure by which I will not repeat this anymore. Now, let us say if you are a greedy type, or you are fond of eating good food, or something, a laddu or some such thing, you are very fond of it, and in a greedy way you have eaten more than what you should have done. Well, tell yourself, next time I am giving up this laddu business. I won't take it. I renounce it. So that way overcome your own tendency to do something that is wrong. But suppose you become aware that it's not something bad that you have done, but it's something good you have done. It is beneficial for you, it is beneficial for others and for everybody. So now there, you don't need to regret, you don't need to take any measure to control in future, etc. You simply say, oh, I am very grateful that I have had the pleasure, I have got the goodness, the good fortune of knowing the Dhamma. And with the help of the Dhamma, I have now overcome this. I did not commit anything wrong. I have been doing something that is good. Now this can be done, this has to be done, at the intentional level. You become aware that you have done your intention is good. There you say, well, I am grateful to Lord Buddha. I am grateful to my teacher. I am grateful to my parents. I am grateful from wherever I have learned this Dhamma. So that I have now succeeded in gathering a power that generates my future, my destiny. Action is a power. It creates a destiny. What we are today is the result of our action of the past, or what we are even now at the present. And what we will be in the future, that will be the result of what we do now, or will be doing later or in future. So action has creativity. It is something like it is actually, an action is called a seed, a bija, a seed, which is nothing but a force or power in a latent form, in a dormant form, is awaiting to be activated. Now when the seed is placed on ground and you put some water, some moisture, some water, now that dormant power in the seed gets activated, it immediately sprouts. It sprouts into a plant. And then further, not only it sprouts into a tiny little leaf or some such thing, but then it also spreads roots downwards. And then this grows into a regular plant, into a tree, and bringing forth all kinds of products. So an action is like a seed. Now a seed, the complexity of this action should be understood by the same analogy, the analogy of a seed. The seed to be really, to fructify in future, or it has to be activated by some process. Now you have to put it in the ground, you have to put some water, then it must be exposed to sunlight, then it must have enough of air. So many things are necessary for the seed to grow into a sprout, and a sprout into a plant, and a plant into a tree, and a tree into a, crop. If it is a crop, it is a source of life, it is a source of prosperity, source of everything in the world. So, you can see here the bija as an analogy, as an illustration, is very appropriate to action. Action ultimately is the creator of one's destiny. There is no creator, say divine will or some kind of external agency that creates your destiny. No, you create your destiny. There is a creativity inherent in the action itself. So if you really want to if you want to progress on your spiritual path, you have to understand your action. Nothing else. Spiritual life starts with knowing of the creativity of action, the power behind action. Unless we know the power behind action, by a process of spiritual practice, as the Buddha gave a very clear-cut technique of development, spiritual development, to that little boy of 7 years old who had come, you see, when the Buddha was in Kapilavatthu, his mother had taught him. He said, look here, that's your father. The day you are born, he left the palace in search of enlightenment, knowing the complexity of life, knowing the mystery of existence. That again and again you are born, again and again you die, again and again you are reborn, again and life is not such a wonderful thing. It is subject to so much of struggle, so much of suffering, so much of pains, and so much of pleasure. But pleasure itself brings pain again. So this complexity of life, your father wanted to know what is behind. So he left, now he has come back an enlightened one, a supremely enlightened Buddha. Go and seek your patrimony from him. And she did this with a wonderful, in verses, 9 verses of absolutely wondrous verses of, you see, Narasiha Gatha. Esa hi tuiha pita narasiho. This is the Pitana, your father, who is like a Narasiho, a human lion, lion of a man, who has climbed on the summit state of spirituality, climbed on the summit stage of perfection, and is capable of liberating others through his discovery of Dhamma. Go and seek. That is how he went, and he went on asking. You see, the Buddha said, look here. So from the palace, when he was returning to the monastery, he went on, he won't go back. He said, no, I will be behind him. I like him, I love him. So now, so when he arrived at the monastery several miles away, the Buddha told Sariputta Bhante, look here, he wants his patrimony. Let us give him a patrimony that will lead him to the highest state of perfection, an enlightened being. And that is what Rahula became. He became an Arahat. So when that is how he was made a novice monk, an under-training monk, and he came back with Buddha in Rajagaha. There he was staying, and Buddha taught him. And he became such a wonderful pupil. Later on the Buddha praised him, he put him on the highest level among his disciples. He says, Rahula is preeminent as a monk.